welcome back to Conversations with Keith, where we talk pop culture, faith, and a little bit of politics. I'm currently preparing for snow right now. And if you are also in one of these affected regions, I hope you're being safe. Girl, I was somewhere trying to get my little grilled Chick-fil-A nuggies, and it almost took me about 10 minutes to get out of the area. I made the mistake. I should have went to another one. But this one, and this is my fault. It's my fault because everybody is trying to get their supplies. It was by Sam's Club. I know. I was not using my noggin. I was definitely not doing the noodle dance. And then, so y'all are buying up the oat milk now? Since when have y'all been interested in oat milk? Leave that to us, okay? I would like to not have rumblies in my tummy. My tummy. I'm gonna try again though. I'm gonna try again. And if not, well, then it wasn't meant to be. Well, I'm going to a coffee shop after we finish having our conversation. And then I'll just get my fix that way. But I prefer to, I got the stuff in the crib. It's the beginning of the year. 1, 2, 3. We're trying to be financially responsible. But anyway, this week went by real fast, girl. I'm not quite sure what happened. Ayana from Love is Blind. What season was she on? I don't remember. They all blur together. She got married. She got married to a man who was ready to get married with a good job. He looked like he wanted to be a husband. My God, God is good because I'll never forget her and Jerry. I said, no. But she was like, oh, I love him. He don't love you. Yeah. She came out scarred, but hey, she survived with the help of the Lord. And now she got a good husband with a good job. Amen. Don't know what that other one doing. I hope he is getting some help because a mess. Lack of accountability. Okay, no humility. And then, her dress was beautiful. But let's talk about the fact that Clay got a girlfriend. Clay got a girlfriend. She's beautiful. And I wish the best for him. Even though he got on my nerves on that show, he did get on my nerves. And he did allow himself to be peer pressured to stay. There was money involved. And people's boundaries get a little fuzzy when the money is in their face. But I hope he has worked through some things because you can only blame other people's trauma on your misgivings. But yeah. And then sometime AD's supposed to have that baby soon. I wish the best for her as well. That situation isn't necessarily the most exciting. But hey, not my womb, not my business. Girl, Nene Leakes is coming back to Bravo. I don't think she's getting a peach. I think they're just bringing her back for this special that they're doing. But put some respect on Nene Olethea Lynx's name. Don't make me call Portia a white refrigerator. Oh, girl, put your shoes on. Come on, let's go find you a real home. She has done so much for television and pop culture. I quote that lady often. So I need Bravo to get it together. Don't play in our girl's face. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, Atlanta was the best Housewives franchise. Especially with Phaedra. And we couldn't figure, and she was lying about how many months she was along. I said, girl, these lies is gonna catch up to you. I get it. Your mama is in the ministry. But be honest, you had your legs open. You was in the streets. And them legs was wide open. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so glad, even if it's just for this small little moment. But they need to bring her back home. You heard what I said, Bravo. Don't play with me. And then, girl, kidnapped a 5-year-old to lure his father. Oh, okay. What is we doing? And then they literally dropped a clip in a neighborhood, literally steps away from a playground. I was like, so we just unprofessional, ill prepared. There's no excuse. Like, at this point, I'm starting to think these people are rejects. Yeah, rejects, people who are mentally unwell, who enjoy torturing others. Because it's one thing to, root out danger for the country. I understand this agency is supposed to be like an essential part of Homeland Security. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to outright be like, oh, abolish them. But y'all do need to be better about how y'all are treating people. And especially these people are literally going to their court appointments, going to get sworn in only to be snatched before they can be sworn in as a citizen. What happened to we're just here to get the criminals? Because I don't know about you, but my bags of lettuce, my bags of spinach have been suffering. It seems to me you're taking all the good workers because the produce is not producing like it used to. I feel like they should have thought about these things before they just started snatching any and everybody, because it's not helping. And then I don't know who needs to hear this, but Greenland said they're not for sale. So stop talking about it. Jeez. And the president, who was clearly showing signs of mental decline, like you could see him sundowning multiple times. Like, when are we going to be like, okay, this man is not in his right mind? It's time for us to do something else. We cannot let him rage for the sake of this country. It's not healthy. But yet they're like, yay, girl. What about the strength of our dollar? What about our allies? Because, like, why we messing with NATO? The U.S. of A. is not as strong as she used to be. Okay. Yes, there are some people getting sworn in and signing up for the military, the Air Force, whatever. But the numbers aren't what they used to be. And it doesn't seem like they are operating as though they know that. But when you see them tear apart the education system, I'm like, oh, maybe that is their way. So, like, if you don't have an education, if you don't have access to college, but the military offers to pay for your college, and then you have health care, and then, they promise you money, that is a good incentive for people to join the military. But I don't think it's going to work for them like they think it is. Because the children are very disinterested, very disgusted. And those who support this regime, very few of them are actually going to enlist. The American dream is dead. At some point, war is imminent. And the kids are simply not interested because they're looking around. They're like, okay. So the boomers are sitting on fat cash. And some of the millennials are doing well, but some of them aren't. Some of us are doing well. So it's, no. And then TikTok, which has officially switched over to American ownership, was showing them things. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, thanks. I don't want to feed the machine. I'm not interested in being a statistic. So we'll see. History may not repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. And right now, it's giving Germany 1920s. Yeah. Well, anyway, and with that, this is the perfect segue because I'm seeing a lot of we are the new Black Panther, which I'm not sure if they really are or if they're a CIA operative because they've done worse. And right now it's not the time to be doing the things that they are doing in the street, which leads me to question their legitimacy and their outwardness. Who sent you? Let's talk about how we can resist while keeping our witness without violence, sin, and, speaking out against the injustice. There was a group of protesters who stormed a church because one of the pastors is a part of ICE. So you can't do that legally because everybody that is disturbing their right to worship. In the civil rights movement, Black people did kneel-ins. So they were in the white churches when it was segregated and they were kneeling in silence to shine the light on, hey, you say you a Christian. We need your help. You can't turn a blind eye no more. It's time to put your money where your mouth is. So, if they could have maybe a shirt silently sat in, didn't disturb anybody. Okay. But just running up in there, causing a muck, protesting. I said, oh, okay. Y'all making a mess. Y'all is making a mess. Okay. We got to learn time and place. And they always love to use, well, Jesus flipped tables. But he was in an area of the church where it was bustling. Also, that was his house with what he could do with what he wanted. And they were selling things and it was very much a profit. It's not like it was like a bake sale for a cause. You know how they made us sell those chocolate bars so we could raise money for things taking because their tithe helped take care of the widows and the orphans. Now this was just pocket money. It had nothing to do with the church. And that's why he was like, yeah, no, you tripping. Not in my house, not on my watch. And I think that's where people are getting it confused because he's not being an ICE agent in the church. He's there for worship. So here you are coming in and disrupting a sermon. But what is the income, the outcome? What do you think? But what is the outcome going to be? They're not going to kick him out. Matter of fact, he should be in church. You just upset people. And now they have something on you because what you did was illegal. Disrupting people's right to worship. Now, like I said, if maybe y'all had some shirts, keep it cute because it is in church. And sat in and was polite. Hi, hello, worshipped alongside them. Be like, oh, they didn't do anything, but they had church. Did you see what they said? And then they could talk about what it was. Be open if people ask you. Calm if they get upset. And then left. Okay. Well, then they have nothing on you. And we have to be intentional about the way we protest. So from Jesus, we see Matthew 26:52. Put your sword back in its place, Jesus said to him. For all who draw the sword will die by the sword. And this is why we advocate for peacefulness. Now, we do have a right to defend ourselves, but that should be the absolute last step, okay? And even your right has limits because they are going to judge whether it was necessary force, if you waited till the last minute, if you pew-pewed, where did you pew-pew? Did you just do one pew-pew? Was that necessary? Or was it excessive? Girl, it's just a mess. So you got to be careful. And then silence before accusers. Isaiah 53, verse 7. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter. As a sheep before its shearers is silent. So he did not open his mouth. Yeah, I struggle with this as well. But sometimes you gotta let them folks talk. You gotta let them talk. Because you cannot forget. You are a child of the Most High. You have a responsibility to your Lord and Savior. It don't matter about anybody else. When you die and stand before the throne, you are responsible for your actions. And I know it's hard to keep your mouth shut. Much like when they did the sit-ins and people were spitting and throwing food at them, they sat and did nothing. But in that, they practiced. They practiced their silence. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, like, no, they didn't just go sit in there. That was a planned, orchestrated effort. And then we have to love our enemies. This is where things get sticky. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Now, in this case, we may not be the persecuted party, but we still have to pray for those who we see as evil. Because at the end of the day, they need God just like we do. The true living God. Because I know some people say, oh, we're having a big revival. Having a big revival. And yes, the Lord is calling some people to him. But there are a lot of individuals whose God is very selective. And for lack of fancy wording, very racist. And they are drawn to and coming to a God that allows racism. Which clearly Yahweh does not, because he says, love your neighbor as yourself. He doesn't give conditions. You don't get to pick who your neighbor is. You're just supposed to love people. And you have to love those people. And those people who think maybe you based on what you look like are low IQ or a terrorist, you still gotta love them. Because at the end of the day, they're lost. There's a lot of deception in this world. And deception that is specifically targeted to different people groups, different socioeconomic classes. The devil is busy. And when you have an enemy, if you want to win, you study that enemy. When we see in the Bible, the devil tempts Jesus. If Jesus didn't know, if he wasn't the word, he might have fallen for that. But because he knew who he was, where he came from, his mission, because he was there. The word was God and the word was with God. He was there at the beginning of creation. And so he was like, no thanks. And it's up to us to seek and discern the truth. And the truth does not say we worship our ancestors. The truth does not say to discriminate against people based on their color or where they come from. It says love your neighbor. It says we're supposed to be as harmless as doves, wise as serpents. And it's important that we always read the Bible. Like, wait, I don't think that's right. And even if it does sound good to you, take it back to the word. Because at the end of the day, the Bible is never going to fail you. And then you always have to make sure you are obedient to God first. Acts 5:29. Peter and the other apostles replied, we must obey God rather than human beings. And sometimes that looks like walking other people's kids to school. That looks like educating others on the unnecessary violence. If somebody needs to be deported, okay, but let's do it through the proper channels. You don't have to sling people across the ice, across the pavement. This is a human being. The only thing separating you and them is the birth of your location. The Lord values them too. He created them too. So why are you treating them like they're an animal? Even animals have compassion. Even animals will step in and mother animals from different species. So what are you doing? And it's not about passivity or hiding, pretending like you don't see it, because you're gonna have to answer for that too. And then it is important for us not to beat up on people who aren't ready to speak up. Okay? There is no room for self-righteousness. If the Bible tells us we can't be self-righteous in our other areas of life, it's definitely not the time to be self-righteous. It is the time to be kind, open. Now, do you have to be buddy-buddy? No, you don't. But keeping that channel open, because some people, it takes them a while. We see what happened in the Germanys. I'm telling you, we already got the playbook. Miss History is waiting on y'all to dust her off. Peaceful resistance can look like having prayer groups, look like cooking meals, educating people, advocating. If you have an advocacy background, like, wait a minute. You know, I understand your role. That's never going to go away. But how you handle these people and the manner in which you handle them is egregious, and it needs to stop, because the world sees you. And this is not okay. And we as Christians cannot, we cannot let our rage fuel us. Which I know is hard, because I see some stuff and it makes me real angry. Because at the end of the day, I don't like seeing people be mistreated. Especially people who mind their business, who pay taxes, but don't get to benefit for real. People who mind their business. They just want to love their families and make money and live a good life. But we can't be like Peter and cutting off ears. Let's not cut off ears. Whatever that ear look like for you. And the thing is, or how you carry yourself, how you respond is part of your testimony. People are watching. We're supposed to bring the light. We're supposed to be the city on the hill. We're supposed to be standing with those who don't have the power, who are weak, but we do it with grace and with love. And we're supposed to pray for those that we may consider our enemies. There are a couple of people that come across my timeline that I do not like. I'm like, why are you and your lies and your propaganda and you spew hate? But even I have to do a better job of praying for that person. Because I done told y'all, okay? Your girl is there's still part of me that's get your lick back. It's not all out yet. It's a process. But I'm better than I was, girl. And I'm just being honest with you. And we just gotta focus on our part. Making sure our hearts are in the right place. Making sure at the end of the day, we did everything we could do. While also not getting distracted from the assignments that God has for us. Because we all have different areas we are in charge of. Maybe He doesn't want you out there with them. Maybe He wants you to focus on this, but you can give a little money. Maybe you can contribute to maybe a bake sale or something to help take care of people's legal fees and things. Maybe you do have the free time on your hands to help people find their families, their family members in the system as they're being carted off to place to place to place to place, like they're going to prison. Whatever it is that God puts on your heart to do, you do it to the fullest. Because I don't know about you, but 4, 6, 10 years from now, need to be on the right side of history. I don't know. Maybe it's just the history major in me. I don't need anybody being like, oh, no. I remember what you did, what you said, which side you were on, what time you were at. Baby, you was on demon time. You wasn't loving your neighbor, girl. You was faking the phone. And I don't know about you, but that matters to me. It matters to me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But no, for real. Like, you just hate to see it. Like, all this violence, it's not necessary. Whether it's with how they do their jobs, how people come in the streets and respond, we have to make sure our front porch is clean. Because people are watching us. Who knows? Your actions could plant a seed. And it is hard because, like, every freaking day they're doing something new and it's exhausting. And you're tempted to be in survival mode. Just worry about self. But if you're a Christian, it's never about self. It's about the collective. And if we're going to be about the collective, we need to get used to being inconvenienced and inconvenienced often. And it doesn't have to be loud. And you can be bold without being angry. Matter of fact, if you are angry, you might want to calm down before you go outside. Sometimes when you're angry, you do things that aren't necessarily the best decision, and God will reward you. Your obedience, whether small or great, we all play a part. So what area is God asking you to stand firmly? And you can still be gentle with it. Now, some of us, we got a little oomph to it. It's physically peaceful, but we know how to get the people going. And as long as it honors the Lord, do that. And, it was on me because I kept seeing things in social media and they were like, oh, well, da 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 da. Well, Jesus flipped tables. And I'm like, yeah, but that was more like on the out. That's the outer. That wasn't really like in the worship area. And I'm like, and a lot of people are agreeing and like with the violence and the Black Panthers, and I'm not even sure they're real Black Panthers, girl. And I was like, oh, we need to talk about it. Because as Christians, we have a different role to play. And it's important that we remember who we are representing. Now, I know other people that it seems like they don't care. But you and I, we care. And he put this passion, this compassion, soft-heartedness, this desire for justice in our hearts for a reason. And it's up to us to move in a way that honors him. Even if all you do is pray. It helps. It all helps. Because these people are living in fear and scared. And they need the peace of God. Maybe you're close to a detention center. Maybe you're able to go in there and hand out Bibles or whatnot. I'm not sure how the procedures go. But hey, the Lord will tell you what you need to do. And that's what I have for y'all. Now, it wasn't cute, fuzzy, but I felt like it was necessary because things are getting a little icky. And I want us to remember our role, okay? We can't forget ourselves. I know it's crazy out there, but we cannot act crazy out there with it. And that's all I have for y'all today. So if you are on Apple, Spotify, go ahead and follow your girl. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to your girl so you never miss another conversation with me. And that's all I got for y'all today. And I'll talk to y'all later. Be safe, be kind, and bye.